What's up, homies? Welcome back to Agents After Hours. Our podcast is for agents who want to talk about the parts of this industry no one wants to say out loud.
We are Erica,
And Paige.
and we're here to bring you unfiltered, unapologetically honest real estate talk. So pour a drink, take a breath, and let's dive in, baby.
Whoop, whoop.
I don't even remember my old intro.
I don't remember mine either.
That's crazy.
I don't think I said much.
No, you didn't. You just said, "What's up, homies? Welcome back to Agents After Hours podcast." I
Sorry.
don't remember mine. I couldn't even tell you.
That's so funny. So for this episode, we're going to talk about something that Erica had put down on our ideas sheet. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to contribute to this because they don't matter to me. And Erica straight called me out and was like, I think they matter more than you think. So we're talking about numbers. Do the numbers actually matter to agents? And what kind of numbers are we even talking about? In this situation, I'm talking about my stats.
So that's really, yes. To me, the only thing that should matter is the number of people I've helped and then the money in my bank account. Although that's not all that matters.
I agree. And I stopped posting volume on my page for that. Like, it is more about like the people I help, but I also like seeing my volume. So, I mean, that's a proud moment for me, but I do understand how it can seem a little tone deaf or tacky putting it on the internet. So,
I mean, realistically, our clients don't really care because our clients are choosing us for us. I don't think that any of our clients are like, Paige sold 10. We are all happy that you sold 10 million. So I'm just going to say 4. So it just seems like Paige sold 4 million in real estate this year. She's doing great. I'm going to pick her. Erica only sold 2 million. So I'm not going to pick her. Like, I don't think that that's how our clients see things, but that's all that should matter.
yeah.
I think the real problem is using our numbers as an identity, and that is me to a T.
Well, after you said what you said, it got me thinking because there is a threshold on our stats on Paragon. They're on our MLS, and I have to stay within certain numbers, or I would probably feel some type of way. So, I don't
Well,
know.
I've never really been too into that. Like at my previous brokerage, I wasn't really into that. I had my own goal at first. It was I wanted to sell a house a month, so 12 a year would have been fine for me. That is no longer fine for me.
No.
By any means. And so I don't know what happened. I don't know. I think it just sprouted up a little seedling last year, and I was just like, no, I have to do more. Although I've always been like a achiever, I think that in real estate, like you're always put up, like they show your stats within your brokerage. I think all brokerages are that way. Like they have a top whatever to like acknowledge your efforts, which I like if I'm winning. If I'm slipping or having a shitty, sucky month, I don't want to know. And so when we talked at the beginning of the year and I was like, no, I don't want to be on any stats. I didn't want to. But then I'm like, but I do want to see my efforts, you know? I mean, we all track things like our GCI, which is like our gross commission income, which we need to, our units and our volume. But I think that like using it as your identity is very toxic. And that was like the one thing I wanted to get away from this year.
Yeah. So when I first started at my last brokerage, my managing broker was like, hey, I'm going to show you how to look at your stats, but I'm going to tell you that if you start, you're never going to stop. And I'm like, that's okay. I'll be fine. And then now I look like weekly every Friday.
That's exactly why I knew that they mattered to you. That's why I was so surprised when you told me, no, I don't really care. I was very blown away by that because like, I think the first time we met, and I could be making this up, but the first time that we met, I think you were like, you knew everything about everyone and like everyone's stats and like where everybody was. And so I was like, I think they do, because how else would you know this information?
So when I worked at Meridian Title briefly as like a receptionist, the manager there made it a requirement for me to remember names and faces of agents that would walk in. So when they walked in, I could say as the receptionist, hey, so-and-so, it's nice to see you today. We'll be right with you or whatever. I think that kind of ingrained in my head that I need to know where everybody kind of is. But then I also kind of wanted to see who our top producers were. I guess when I say numbers don't matter, I mean in the sense of like, I don't look at somebody else's numbers and internalize that, which I know a lot of people do. But for me, that's why I don't say it. Like now you brought up a situation end of last year and you're like, if so-and-so sold 10 million and surpassed you, how would you feel? And I'm like, well, that's a different person. But I don't look at like anybody as like a competitor. I'm my own
Mhm.
competitor. But there was an agent when I first started that I really wanted to beat her numbers. That's when I first started, though. And now she just texted me and she was like, "Congratulations." She thought our open house was today. So she's like, "I'm not going to be able to make it today." And I'm like, "Well, you're a month early, babe." So now she's just like somebody and I'm never beating her numbers because last year or 2 years ago when she finished the year, I'm like, "Are you tired? Because I just looked at your numbers and are you tired? Because I'm tired for you." She sells hundreds of houses a year. I have no interest to do that.
Mhm.
So I guess, and you said it too, like everybody has their own level of success. So yeah, I don't know.
I also don't see any fellow agents as a competitor, not in our office, not anywhere. It's just more so like me versus me wanting to be number one. Like this is new for me. This is all new for me. That's why I think it's so unhealthy. I don't know. I've kind of just been like a whatever type of person, but whatever came about last year, like I'm trying to let it go, but it's hard.
I
But we're
think that
making
if you're
progress.
showing up as your best self a majority of the year, like obviously before we hopped on, you have some definitely interest, like you're not in alignment with your ideal client. You kind of said that, and I get that. But like you're going to have those rough patches, especially for real estate 2026. It's not for the weak. So if you survive 2026 real estate, like kudos to fucking you because it is so hard this year. It's so hard this year.
It is.
I'm going to die.
No, I'm also gonna die. I think we're gonna
R.I.P.
make it
Erica and
through.
Paige.
We're we're gonna make it through.
We are.
But it is 2026 hasn't been for the week in any freaking level, and yeah, it's been a little wild. But I did have some questions like regarding that I wanted to ask you. So like we know me. I do feel behind because of numbers. I feel like looking at where I was like last year or whatever, I can make myself feel very behind. But do you ever feel that way?
No,
Never.
no.
Because you just know that everything's going to come.
Yeah.
I feel like I used to get very down in the dumps like around November, December, January. But this being my 5th year, I've quickly realized it's cyclical and like it's gonna happen. And so I have tend to not get so down on myself during those months anymore.
So we have an agent on our team who said that she really wants to be like a Q4, Q1 agent because seasonal depression. And I get that. I totally understand that. I guess I'm going to be real blunt. December and January and February are historically low producing months for everybody across the board. You see it in our market stats, you see it in our data. For a person to see that and know that and be in it for you, I'm gonna come coming for you because you gave me an example. For 5 years, this has not changed. You expecting it to change year after year is insanity. Literally the definition of insanity. I can't get depressed and I can't I'm a forward thinker. I'm a strategic thinker, very realistic when it comes to that. Situational, I mean, not situational, strategic, whatever. I can't, I'm not going to let myself get depressed during slow months because it's happening to everybody. It's slow season during those days. I'm not looking at my numbers during those days. I don't care if I only have one closing a month. It's going to come back. It's going to come back because it always does. I proved that to myself time over time. You have proved it to yourself time over time that it's just, yeah, you. Yeah,
I'm
you.
I was just Paige, I was just saying that I'm starting to realize that by now that
Good.
this is just the way it goes. That's what
Okay.
I was
I
saying.
know.
Why are you
I
coming
know.
at me? Why are you
Bitch,
yelling at
because you
me?
gave me examples. You said
No, but
5 years and just now. Everybody needs to learn
no,
it.
just now. Yes, just now. Because previously, I think this year was the first year I was like, okay, this is to be expected. I know I'm going to come back harder at the beginning of the year.
Work on your house. Not you. Anybody. Work on your house. Spend time with your family. Go build.
Enjoy the holidays.
Enjoy the holidays. Like you work so hard. Like, and I have to remind people of this. Why did you get into real estate? For the flexibility and the freedom. But the second you have those, any agent has those, they're like, oh my God, I'm failing. No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally doing what you're supposed to be doing. So also people, for example, their whole goal is 5 million for the year. And then they've already hit 2.5 million and they're stagnant for 3 months. And they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, you sold 2.5 million in 2 months. Like you met half your goal in 2 months. Like what makes you think you're not going to hit the other half in 10? You know what I mean? Like it just, I feel like people have to be very realistic. So when I say numbers don't matter, It does, but it doesn't.
Do you okay, so you don't compare yourself to others, but do you ever compare yourself to, like, what you did last year, especially for you hitting such a huge goal?
It took a lot of work to hit 10,000,000, and what we're on track for now, it's a lot of work. I think that I am starting to get to the stage of my life where I'm like, so you start off, I want 1 a month, and so you're like, "Cool, okay, now that I'm busier and I want more," but, like, now I think I'm towards, like, where I don't want 1 a month, but, like, dwindling to that doesn't seem so scary to me if I'm financially prepared for that, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
So, I used to be able to do, like, 8 at one time. That used to be, like, what I could handle. That stresses me the fuck out now. Like, I don't
mhm.
wanna do that. 5 a month is fine. That's my comfy zone now. 8 a month used to be my comfy. Now we're, like, 5. So, I don't know. No, I don't
I
look at
love
other.
the thrill of 8 like, I love that thrill, although it is a lot of work.
It is, and I wanna I guess, I have a goal, and I'm gonna keep my mind on that, and essentially that is a money goal, not a volume goal. So, for me, I'm just looking now at how to do just as much financially with less amount of work. So, smarter, not harder is kind of where
Mhm,
I'm starting because I want to be able in 9 years to be able to travel and not be like, "Oh, can't do that because I have all these clients that need me and I have a closing that I need covered." Ideally, I would be able to travel if I want and then be like, "Hey, somebody reached out to me. Do you want to take this over? 25% referral," or whatever.
mhm,
I want to be able to do that in 9 years and not have it be my whole identity.
mhm.
So,
I love that for you. I think that you will definitely get there, and you have a ton of people that, like, I feel like you're maybe unintentionally, like, kinda molding, and so I think that you'll have, like, a good solid team of people to do that too, you know?
yeah, but I also want everybody. I don't want my agents to also, like, look at numbers and that make them sick. So, however I have to help with that to be confident in whatever you produce yourself, that's kind of what I'm working on,
I
if
don't
that makes
understand.
sense. So, like, for the agents here at Brickbill, I don't want them to look at numbers and get in their head like how people naturally do. So, this year, I wanna spend intentional time in talking to our agents and molding our agents into being so confident in themselves and what they do and what they produce that numbers don't make them insecure anymore.
Oh,
That's my
I
goal.
like that. That's
So,
really cool.
yeah.
You're doing great. So another question that I had on here to ask was, which I know your answer, but does a slow month make you spiral? We kinda talked about that.
If I would say to answer that, I mean, to be realistic, if I don't have anything for 2 months and we're going on to a 3rd month and I don't have anything, I start then, like, not spiraling, but I'd be like, "Okay, what's happening here?" But
Mhm.
if I went 3 months without anything, that would probably make me spiral. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't think
I don't think that'll ever happen, has
that you'll
never
have 3
happened.
months?
Yeah, I think 2 is my longest of having nothing, but
Yeah. I feel like, again, I'm getting to the point now where I don't really spiral because I've seen it so many times, so, like, even if I have a slow month, it's never gonna be 0 likely, and so I know that next month I know now more with the seasons, like, how to roll with the punches.
and you don't just because you're slow client-wise for 2 months, that's a good time for you to catch up on your social media, that's a good
There's
time to
so much you could do. Pre-do sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead. I'm a
Unmedicated. Pre-do your social media, like, there's so many
Yep,
times that if you're in a mood, in a good mood, and you're like, "Oh, I'm feeling this, I'm gonna do all the videos," and do all the videos at one time and just save them.
yeah.
That's what I think you should do.
Or go to educational events, show up to networking events, clean out your CRM, get your end of year gifts ready. I don't know, there's so much you can do. You should be spending every day doing something real estate, even if
I
it's
think
not showing a client.
true, and I think that if you're not like, aside from doing all that stuff, which is, like, kind of the fun stuff, I think that you should be doing, like, that to me, the heavy task, like, meeting new people.
Yeah,
It's just a heavy task getting there. It's not once I meet the new people, I'm fine.
yeah,
So, I think we can sum it up and say the numbers aren't the problem, it's what we make the numbers mean.
I would agree. Also, speaking of numbers, I don't know if we got here. Erica was so wonderful and made this outline, and I breezed through it. All I knew is that she had questions, and I see some of the things that are on here,
Some things
but
are in caps.
sure are. And I'm just going off the cuff speaking random things. When I do my goal planning at the end of the year, I always ask what people want volume wise. And I saw on here like units versus volume. When it comes to financials, like in planning for your money, I think volume is more important than units. I also think, and if you can work, so I think, okay, and I've been having a come to Jesus moment on this, and I would love your input too. So obviously, we do this for the people that we can help. Like that is very important. Like we're helping people and we're guiding them through a biggest transaction. We want everybody to feel like like family, not a number. I don't disagree with that. That is full-heartedly how I believe. At the end of the day, this is still a job, and so you have to be strategic and you have to plan accordingly. If we worked a 9 to 5, nobody would bat an eye if I wanted to look solely at the numbers or the financials of what this job is. It's when we start getting into a people business that it starts like making me feel ucky thinking about the numbers or publicly talking about the volume and what somebody's making. And I don't know why that is, but I'm finally like, the financials matter too. It's our business. Like, it's how we make money. So, like, is it icky to talk about that? I don't know.
I think that it would just depend on the room that you're in. When you see the number on a settlement statement, right?
Yeah.
It can look like a huge number. For a client, any client that doesn't see what you do, they can perhaps think, damn, that's a lot for what they did, right?
Yeah.
Or that's what I make in, I don't know, a quarter,
Yeah.
right? And they just made that to them in a day, right?
Yeah.
Although that's not the case and we know that. Granted, we don't get the whole commission check. We all know that. But that's a little bit of an easier, I think they're more like you worked for your money, you deserve what you
Yeah.
got. That's a different, like I had a client that I was just helping her through. I loved her so much. And she kept saying, she's like, wow, I'm really making you work for your money. And I'm like, no, like, even though it's challenging, like it felt good to help her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I guess it's more or
some
less
people
the
value
opinions
it.
of yeah. I think it's more or less the opinions of other agents. Like if I'm like, "Okay, what's your volume goal?" And they're like, "Well, what about units? I wanna help as many people as possible." And I'm like, helping as many people as possible doesn't always pay your bills and doesn't help you plan your
Mm,
bills. We need volume and what your average commission is so you can plan and budget for what the year is. Like that I
mm,
think is super important. That's why when I ask at our business and goals planning meeting, what volume pays your bills? What volume would be like, ooh, that's cool? And what volume would be like fuck you money to you? Whatever that looks like. Some fuck you money could be 60,000 for somebody. Like that could, and that's okay. Wherever you're at in your life and whatever volume you need. What?
I read that very wrong.
What do you mean?
I did not think I got your question wrong. But like with agents, no, because I feel like that comes with time. Because at the beginning, I was very much also that way. Like I don't, I think for my first 2 or possibly 3 years, I never set a volume goal. It was more just more units and more houses because it made me feel more productive. But I quickly learned after 2 or 3 years that I a volume goal is more. That's what pays your bills.
That is what pays your bills.
The houses that I check off on a check sheet doesn't pay my bills.
And I just think that I just feel so icky when I say that around other agents because I do want to help people, but like, how
Mhm.
do I, every time I say, okay, well, I want to make money, but I want to help people. Like, do I have to say that every time too? Like, when is that just a given? I don't know. That's where I'm
I
at.
think
That's what
that
I'm
people know
battling
your
lately.
I think people know your intentions, though.
I mean, not just necessarily me, but just people in general.
Well, yeah, because I was just talking to someone today, and we were talking about, I kinda said the same thing, how, like, I wanna help everyone, like, my goal is to help them and make
Yeah.
them feel good and make them feel seen and help them accomplish the goals, but, I mean, yeah, I also need to make money. I
Because
don't
if
think there's
you
anything wrong
don't
with
do
that.
that, you're not gonna make money. If you're not a good
Correct.
person or if you're making somebody feel like a transaction, you're not gonna make money. That has to happen regardless. I mean, like, you can, but
My decisions that I make or the way that I guide my clients or the things that I would recommend or how I would advise them would never change because of money, because I need to get paid. That won't ever happen. The way that I'm advising them and guiding them is if they want me to, the way that I would do it.
yeah.
If they don't want me to, then very black and white.
Even give my opinion on what I would do in a situation unless it's asked. I provide all the information and make you make an informed decision. I will, if they're like, well, what do you think is best for me? And I'll be like, well, this is what I think in this situation. But I'm not, if you're, I don't want to, they're like, what do you think about this? What do you think I should offer? This is, I don't have, we've talked about it before. I don't have that emotional connection to the house. So, like, the money's it doesn't matter how big the house is. I'm going to equip you with the same information to make the same educated decision. I don't want you to think that I'm pushing my agenda on you. So I will keep that, like, my thoughts on that to myself. I also heard very early on, and I'm learning this actually, when you walk through a house, you shouldn't point out the things that you dislike as an agent. Only point out things that would be a material defect or that you know that your buyer would be want to know. Like if the kitchen's small, be like, hey, I know you mentioned you didn't want a small kitchen. Is this kitchen too small for you? I'm not going to go and be like, oh my God, this kitchen is so small. Because what if the client doesn't care? What if the client loves the rest of the house so much that he doesn't care that the kitchen's too small?
Funny story. I had a listing and they had the cameras, and I guess let me be careful, but they had heard the agent say, "Oh my God, look at this black. Do you like this black paint?" They were like kind of being really rude about it, and then the people were like, "Yeah, I actually really like it." And then she put her foot in her mouth.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Why? I
I
mean,
think
why?
everybody's design taste is different. I had a client that when they bought their last house, they're like, they specifically, I don't want light and bright. I want wood tones. I want it to be homey. I want it to be comfy. They didn't want to see any white and bright house. You have no idea what your client's taste is right off the bat. And even it takes some time until you see something. Like they might not have known that they liked the black wall until that time when they saw it. So
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, I think it's important to keep your opinions to yourself. There is a client that I have where I'm like, okay, what are your thoughts at the end? And he's like, well, what are your thoughts? And I'm like, I asked you first. We're not doing
Uh-huh.
that. Because I think with him, I need to stop giving my opinions so much because maybe, I don't know. I think we created an environment where he wanted my opinion and I'm not, I'll give my opinion at the end. Like just said, because I want to know what his thoughts are first.
Yeah, that comes with emotional intelligence and reading the room and also being able to like direct and guide someone. But like you can tell when someone really wants your advice or your input, like that's, I don't know. I feel like you just have to tread
Yes.
lightly and take it case by case, but just don't overlook anything that they need to know about.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I think we should talk about something. The emotional roller coaster of the numbers. I want to dive into this really quick. This is really what I wanted to talk about. So I just weaved it on in to this episode. So last time we talked, I was doing great. I think in one weekend we got like 5 under contract. Since then, we have had about 3 to 4 mutual releases, and that made me spiral. And when we first got on this episode, we were just kind of joking about just quitting real estate altogether because that's a tough pill to swallow. That's a hard freaking
For
pill to
context,
swallow.
I got like 5 or 6 under contract in like a week period, and 2 of mine are falling through, and then a third sent me a mutual release, which would then affect the fourth. So I think I don't know if we're working through the last 2, the third and the fourth, but it could be the same as Erica. That's why I was like, fuck it, I just want to sell all my shit and move to another country.
I don't think we should do that, but I do think that
No,
we should. It makes
totally
me
not.
wonder, like, how fast do your emotions follow the numbers? Because I even saw it bothering him a little bit more because he got a buyer under contract, and I was like, "Dang, good job! Like, aren't you so excited?" He's like, "This is beginning," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess you're right." Like a social media post, like or something, or like I don't know, carries no weight.
I literally a social media post, you brought it up. So I got a buyer under contract. Just in case any agent hears this, I think I want to clarify for my own sake. I posted on Facebook, 2 under contract in one day. Literally posted that, and an hour later, one of those buyers called me, well, Brandon, and was like, hey, so I know that we just accepted that offer, that counter offer, but I'm getting laid off.
Damn.
So mutual release, well, I sent a mutual release but they never sent it back. But earnest money hadn't even been dropped off yet. I didn't delete that post because I'm not going to, but that was a freaking bummer.
Well,
I
yeah.
just made the post.
Should I go back and like delete all my under contract stuff? Just put X's through them all.
Fell through.
Well, it actually, so like the next thing that I kind of want to talk about is just like how social media can actually make this worse. But it makes me feel like I should talk about all the mutual releases because it is hard. Like an agent who is maybe having a shitty month and just saw, oh, Erica just got 5 or 6 under contract. Maybe that makes them feel some type of way, which I hope it doesn't. Should it? Like, those aren't making it to closing, baby. So do I need to just, I don't need to tell people, but like, we don't ever show that side of things, you
No,
know?
we don't. I think that a few years ago, I transitioned, and it's funny because people are always like, I see you on social media all the time. I see you post on social media, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I post. I'm a creator, not a consumer. I'll be consuming TikToks all day long, but I don't ever, I guess for me, because I know that that's what it is, and I probably would get sick seeing it on social media, like under contract, under contract. I just don't look as much. I'm just like, I don't want to be on there. So kind of how you deleted TikTok for your mental health. I don't scroll Facebook for mine.
I'm back.
For to
I'm
TikTok,
back. I sent
I
you a TikTok.
I didn't even see it, but I didn't send you a TikTok because I didn't think you had it. I almost
Was this
downloaded it and everything, and it didn't have the download button. So I'm like, Erica just doesn't get to see this one.
was it Sabrina Carpenter singing to Bad Bunny? Because that's what I sent you. It was like
No,
a perfect welcome back.
no, I have not watched that yet.
That's
When
so
did you
cute.
send it to me? I went to bed before 9 o'clock last night.
I think it was before 9. But yeah, so I'm back because I need an outlet because I just need to. But anyways, I can see that. I've also unfollowed, and I told you about that because sometimes I would get in my own head, and so if you don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Especially on Facebook, especially on social media in general. So like, why do that to yourself? But I do think that like maybe it would be a wise idea just to kind of talk about like it's not all shits and gigs over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun week of hustling around and get everybody under flow and then nobody closes. But a way to flip that is like, obviously it didn't work out for them for a reason and they're going to find a better house. But also they're still, it's not like they're just like, oh, that is done. I'm done. I'm done forever.
Yeah.
It's just like, we just got to rework it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all good things. Did you have
Okay.
something you wanted to say?
I have a question because about the whole unfollow thing. I remember, and this is my own feelings, okay? So like I am genuinely curious like who has unfollowed me because I'm obnoxious. I can think of like two people now as it is because they never like my stuff and they used to. So I can tell that they don't follow me anymore. Like that also makes me feel icky because like so and I'm on the other perspective of you. And like
Mhm.
my success makes you feel gross. That's weird to me.
So no, it doesn't. Your success doesn't make me feel gross. This is the way I see it, okay?
Not
No,
you
no, just
specifically,
in
but
general.
yeah,
Why I'm unfollowing. It's not your success that makes me feel gross, but if my eyes are not on my own paper at that point. Because like say we're talking about me and you, if I care enough about you that I'm going to reach out to you and see how you're doing and like talk to you about other things, but like I don't need to be in my own head about my own production, but it's not because I'm not like, damn, Paige is doing really good and that makes me feel like shit. It's more like, why am I not doing good? I feel like shit, you know? But
probably because there's
also,
an insecurity there.
yeah, I'm not, yes, but not about, it's not personal.
But I want you to see my other stuff. What about when I post my cute kids? What about when I needed recommendation? What if I give you a life
But
update? I don't fucking know. You're not going to see shit.
I
So
don't
are we
know.
even friends then?
I think, but like, I didn't think about it like that because maybe I'm just in my own head. But like, no, I don't feel like I'm intimidated by success. If anything, I personally feel like I'm inspired by success. I think that if I'm in a place where I feel like I'm hustling and I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm trying and I'm not progressing, I need to keep my eyes on my own paper and not dwell on like, why am I not doing better? Why am I picking up? But I have super high achiever vibes.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't always come out, but like in my head,
Yeah.
it's always playing. But
Right.
it's to me, it's not personal. Like if I unfollow someone, it's for my own mental health, not about that person.
Yeah.
And not about that they're doing great because I'm gonna see that elsewhere and I'm genuinely happy. But like maybe that is a shitty way to like you're holding a mirror to me. Maybe it's a shitty way to do it because I truly feel like I do get inspired by other people. I don't I don't feel in my heart that it comes from a place of hate
Yeah.
or like jealousy because I don't think it's that.
So there is a real estate team, and if they listen to this, or if you know me or them, you're gonna put two and two together. But I'm still not gonna name drop. But there is another real estate team, and the husband got licensed when I got licensed, and the wife got licensed when Brandon got licensed. And I remember when they first started, I feel like I was like, oh my gosh, we're like, and we ran in the same sphere, like essentially. So I'm like, how is this going to work? But I remember like for a long time, what they posted, like when they're like under contract. And I'm like, shit, I got to go out and get something under contract because tit for tat at that point, man. They post under contract, I wanna post an under contract. They post just sold, I wanna post just sold. I guess so when I look at that, like, for me personally, I understand everybody has their own thing, and you need to do what's best for your mental health. I truly do believe that. I guess for me mentally, I'm a one-upper. I don't know.
Now I think I need to go reevaluate because when I'm answering my own question, but again, I truly in my heart don't feel
Right.
jealous. I don't feel upset. I don't feel
I believe that.
any of those things. But I do like I think my insecurity comes from I'm not doing enough all the time. So I don't know how to unpack that. But that's why like this episode is so near and dear to me.
Yeah.
But I'm actually trying to go back and think, and I would like to look at my unfollow list because I don't think I unfollow unless they do something that annoys me personally.
Oh, yeah, if you like, there's people that I unfollow because I don't wanna see like, if we have very different life views, I will unfollow you. Like, or if you are evil to a certain demographic, I'm unfollowing you. Or if you're pro something and I'm not, yeah.
But I would like to see my unfollow list because I'm not trying to backpedal or like say I do and then I don't, but I just don't truly feel like mine comes from a place of like hate.
I don't think yours does either. But I think that there are people who unfollow people or unfriend people from that mindset.
I won't
And
unfriend anyone.
I would just use not you, but there are people that I am aware of that have unfriended people because of it. And I'm just like, that screams hater to me. The
Mm,
unfriend, not the
mm.
unfollow. The unfriend screams hater to me. Unless they're posting, I guess I will unfriend somebody if they post something that's obnoxious to me. Like if you're posting freaking skank ass photos all the time, like and you're naked half the time, I'm unfollowing you. I don't need to see you half naked. Or if you're constantly bitching about something, I'm unfollowing you. Or
If
I want
you okay, never mind.
I want to say something else, and I'm not. I think you and I are on the same page here.
I will say it. I don't affiliate.
I don't affiliate either, but I have friends that have very different views on things. But if you're going to be obnoxious about your views and be hateful about your views, I don't have time for that. That pisses me off.
Yeah, and I still stand by what I say. If something makes you uncomfortable for whatever reason, just unfollow.
Yeah,
Because
I
I think
agree.
that it's a highlight reel. But yeah, don't do it from a place of hate. Again, I'm gonna go back to that influencer that I know. And I just feel like that is something that like it inspires me a lot. So moving on,
I don't know why that chick inspires you
because I wanna do all the things that she's doing.
because she lives in a fucking fairy tale in a cloud,
It appears.
and her feet are not on the ground.
It appears that she lives there and I would like I mean, who wouldn't want to live that way? So I'm just like, wow, how are you doing this? That's fucking crazy. But it's a whole different realm of things. But I do say that like again that goes they always say that social media is your highlight reel because people are I'm not on there talking about my mutual releases and not because I think that's more so because of like my clients see that. So like I don't want to get on there and talk about their shit, you know?
Yeah.
Not because I care that, like, another agent knows, because I think that's why I'm here on the pod telling all the agents, like, "Hey, I had 5 mutual releases or 4 or however many I had,
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
listen to me." But I don't wanna go tell my client shit on Facebook, you know?
But also, like, if you have a mutual release and you have to get permission to use the photo, what are you gonna put? The photo of the house and say mutual release, and people are gonna be like, "I saw it on Facebook that it fell through. What happened?" I'm not putting my fall through listing on there because people are like, "What happened to this listing page?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not doing
It's
that."
so much.
If you wanna
But
know
yeah,
what hasn't closed and is closed, look at Zillow. I don't know.
so I had a little metaphor I wanted to use, and let me go back and find it. Okay, so we touched on this briefly, but like the good month versus a bad month, it's not always real. So like you talked about, okay, if you're having a slow month, go do stuff to plant the seeds, basically, right? So I want to tell you guys that I have a garden. I'm starting a garden. I had a garden in 2020.
You take the pool down?
Let me roll this back. I've been off of ADHD meds for like some weeks now. And so I have done all of the things and now I'm planting a garden and it's all fine. I did this during COVID and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I loved filling up my watering can because my hose didn't reach and like taking it out there. I loved it. So now eventually, guys, I'm going to be off the grid. I don't know how eventually. So now I can make bread. Cool. Anyways, real estate has a lag effect. And so 1 month you can be doing all the things right and you can plan it. You can be planting all your seeds, getting them together, right? but no seeds might be sprouting yet. So that's what brings me to this metaphor about my sprouts, because my sprouts are I planted all of them at the same time. I did all the things. They're all in the same environment, but they're all sprouting at different times. So to tie that back in, if you're doing your things throughout the month, say the month of March you're slow and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna go meet all these people. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna send my newsletters. I'm gonna do all the things I need to do. All of your things that you do. Eventually, all your sprouts are gonna sprout,
All of them.
and they're gonna be at different times. And you know what? You might get a dud. And if you get a dud, whatever, just move on.
Love that. And it's also the theme of our open house. So,
And I mean, to me though, it is hard to push through a seed season to get to the harvest
mhm.
season. But I do think that like knowing and being confident in yourself and your abilities and all of that, it helps you be able to push through.
I agree. I feel like confidence is a huge thing to all of this. Like there has to be a level of confidence to be able to push through, and a level of confidence to not compare, and a level of confidence to not like get down in the dumps if your numbers don't look good right now.
I think that like what really matters is because it's not you real estate isn't just units and volume. It kind of is, but I think that what we should be paying attention to is like our consistency and effort during planting season, the systems that we are the system
Love you.
the
Sorry.
systems that we're building. No, you're good. The health of your pipeline, the relationships that you're building and the skills that you're improving, those are all things that I think truly matter. And real estate is such like a learning moment. The entire freaking thing is a learning moment.
As we're talking, I'm looking at my numbers.
Okay, so I have something in caps that I want to talk about, and I don't really know what it is yet. It says danger zone.
Okay.
So the danger zone is saying yes to bad clients. And I put Erica is guilty and not in alignment because she is guilty and she is not in alignment. And when you say yes to bad clients, the only thing that happens is it leads to you overworking. It leads to burnout. It leads to stress. And you lower your standards. When you're not in alignment, you hate your numbers, but you still feel off because it's not in alignment with you.
Okay. So speaking of bad clients, there are certain clients that I'm just like I can't work with, and I think that that's important for your sanity to also pick clients that you enjoy working with. I think the part that sucks though is you usually don't know that until you're like it's too late.
You might see some red flags. And if you see the red flags, I think that you shouldn't do it because every single time I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go. It brings me stress. And so like
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year I talked about wanting to be in alignment and I am not there yet, but we will get there. But it's not all it's cracked up to be because yeah, it was a sale, but it didn't feel good the whole time. And it's
Yeah.
probably never gonna feel good after that.
Yeah.
So
I guess I've never really worked. I take that back. There's only one client where I'm like, Brandon, I'm going to need you to take over. I don't work well with indecisive people. That's not my fave. But I'll take an engineer or a grumpy old man any day. You give me a person that can't make a decision, I'm gonna die.
my biggest thing is like disrespect and not valuing me.
Oh, fuck that.
That was something that I really struggled with. I made it through, but
I
I
am.
did go
Go
ahead.
ahead. You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I have a client that when I first met him, I brought sheets, transaction sheets, or MLS sheets. And after a while, he's a young kid. Normally people our age don't want those. So, which is fine. So I stopped bringing him, and he like, I don't want to say got shitty, but he was like too lazy now to even print off a sheet. And I'm like, boy, I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to, but you see everything that I do, and I did print off a piece of paper. I will make sure I never forget that again. But like if I had a client that did that shit all the time, and I feel like you encounter a lot of clients like that like don't see what you do behind closed doors, and they are
I just make it
disrespectful
look
too.
so easy. No, I'm
And
just kidding.
I mean, you probably do. Stop making it look so easy. I don't know. That's our job though. Like I don't want to have to flex my muscles until like to show you how hard I work. Unless there's a problem that I have to involve you. I also don't want to involve you in problems that I can solve. I don't want to have to bring you unnecessary stress. So
Correct.
I'm going to argue with this agent behind closed doors and come up with a problem, like a solution. I say argue because if we're problem solving together, that's not really a stress for my client. But if I'm arguing with this agent behind closed doors, I'm not telling you that unless I feel like it's relevant. So you can think it's easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl, where I was like on a sinking ship trying to hold us all up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I was going to say.
No, a valid point. Maybe I need to reflect and try to figure out why I attract 99% of my clientele is not like that. But I do come to you with a lot of the 1% because it stresses me the fuck out and I need to make sure I'm doing good. But no, the majority of my clients, they're great. And I do have another one now that like working through it is like literally like night and day. They're just very chill, very like, okay, let's just see. All right, yeah, we're good with that. Like,
I think for you, like just thought of it, like just a little nugget. So like for you, a lot of your problem solving, yes, you brainstorm and stuff with other agents, but I feel like you don't run your mouth a lot. All of your thinking is up here. And I think that that can be confused for not having answers. No, you have all the answers. You're just trying to figure out which one is the best answer because you have already thought of all the problems. But I think that you keep a lot of your opinions and thoughts in your head, which might make people think you aren't doing anything, but you are. And anybody that knows you knows that. Like right now, I would think that you're disengaging with me and looking elsewhere. You're not. I had to learn that you're thinking and
oh, I was
analyzing and
thinking,
taking it in. Right. But normally when somebody they're not here. They're gone. They're in outer space. You're analyzing and thinking. Your brain is moving. Whereas like if I'm thinking, my eyes get like small and I go like this. Whereas you're looking in the clouds for answers, which usually means you're an airhead, but you're not at all.
well, it's funny because when you're saying that, like when people are like, oh, I zoned out for a sec. I don't even know what that's like because I don't know the last time I zoned out for a sec.
Right. So I like, if you're not in a conversation or you're distracted, you just say that, but your facial expressions say otherwise sometimes. And that was something I had to learn from you
That's really interesting.
because I took it personal for a very long time. I thought you were mad. You didn't agree with what I was saying. You thought I was a cunt for what I was saying, or that you were just not listening. And that's not the case.
Well, how can I be a better person then? Because I don't want people thinking
I don't
that.
think
Like,
that's a bad thing. I
well,
don't
how
think it's a
can
bad
I
thing.
let someone know I'm not just like staring off into space? You want to know why? Okay, this is what I think. I think it's because I have been told like I interrupt so much. So like,
Yeah.
and I've seen other people do it where like they're having a conversation with someone and they don't let them finish. And so that has turned into a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to cut someone off. Maybe this is what you mean. Maybe it isn't. But I don't want to cut someone off. I want someone to get to the end of their sentence before I'm jumping in and trying to figure out what they're going to say.
Right.
But like, is it ruder? Would it be more rude if I just did that or if I just processed?
I don't think it's on a rude scale. I think it's, are you a here scale? Like, are you mentally in this conversation regardless? Like, I think those are two different scales. I don't think, no, don't blur and interrupt people. Don't do that. That's rude. But I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think I just literally just thought of this, that maybe could be why.
Mm,
Because
mm, mm.
I have another friend who does zone out quite often, and your facial expressions are the same, and you're not zoning out.
No, I'm thinking.
You're thinking.
But I just wonder how I can paint that picture to others because I don't want people to think that I am an airhead when I'm thinking. And then if that's the case, if you're talking about me, do I like redeem myself when I do say what I'm thinking, or do you just go on about your day thinking that I'm an airhead?
I don't think you're an airhead.
No, you don't. But I'm saying like when you were
Other
learning
people?
this.
I didn't ever. No,
Yeah.
I thought you were mad at me because I have insecurities of that. I always thought you didn't like what I was saying. You disagreed. You thought I was a bitch, or I don't know, that you didn't agree. That you didn't. It took me a while because I thought you hated me. I've told you this after our very first meeting. I didn't say the word hate, but after literally when we sat down, the four of us sat down at Court Dance. When we left, I said they're not coming. You didn't seem interested, but it's because I didn't know your face yet.
Well, so maybe what you're saying is that I have a poker face.
I don't know.
I'm having a hard time understanding what you're saying. Okay. So you're saying that my facial expressions look like I'm zoned out in a conversation. I understand that.
Or
What
that you're
I'm not,
uninterested.
that I'm uninterested.
I don't know if that's the best
So
word to use.
that's not great for business. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is like, when I come back to the conversation, do you then feel like I'm interested, or do you
Yeah.
feel like
I need you to say more words. For me,
is it a brief moment?
I would like for you to say more words.
That's going against everything I've ever learned because I was
I
on a quest
know.
to say less words
I
because
know.
I thought I talked too much.
I know. I get what you're saying. I think I don't literally, it could not even be that. I could be so wrong. I could be so wrong. It's literally the only thing it just came to me. It's the first thing that came to my mind. And people think I'm a bitch because my face does a bitch face. I don't, I think it
Wait,
really,
okay, but you're telling me that the clients that I struggle with, which has been a couple, that they think that I don't do any work because I appear to be disengaged.
maybe.
So what would be my fix for that? Telling them like, this is happening. I want you to know,
Or
but I'm
for,
fixing it. Don't worry.
I would definitely say I'm fixing this. So, like, I don't know what you can do. I've never seen you around clients. I'm going to shadow you,
Okay.
but only the ones that annoy you.
But my clients, yeah, I was going to say they all really
But that's
like
only
me.
the
And at the end of
1%.
that, yeah, at the end of that one, we were fine. That was difficult. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I've never seen you around clients. I've never seen you interact with clients. It's the only thing I could think of because I have personal experience with your face.
Mm-mm.
Facial expressions are important. I need to work on mine. Every time somebody says something, I make a face and they're like, what's that face for? And I'm like, I didn't even make a face. They're like, yeah, you did. And I'm like, I didn't make a face. They're like, were you disgusted? I was like, that's the opposite of what I was. I didn't feel disgusted. I don't
Oh,
know.
well, new insecurity unlocked.
Stop! I didn't want you
No,
to feel
no,
that
that's
way.
hard. No, it's okay. It's okay.
I
I
could
need
be
to do some
wrong.
digging. No, it's fine. I need to do some digging and figure out where do I go during those moments.
You're
Ve-
thinking.
I'm very internal. So
You're
like, should I be
very
thinking
internal.
like
Thank you.
this?
Thank you. That is a better word.
I'm thinking,
Just start like,
loading. One moment. Let me process this and I'll return.
you're an internal processor. Whereas me,
Yeah,
I feel like I make noises. Like, and I'm like, let me think about that. And then I like think about it. That's what I say.
that's interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's get healthy.
I don't know if that's the case.
What I think we should do going forward is I think that like, well, what would help us all? I'm gonna deep dive with this with you later. But one thing that we could
I
track
need
that I
more
think that would
Botox.
be healthy is like tracking your inputs, not just your outcomes. So like what are you actually doing? Like the calls that you make, the appointments that you go on, the follow-ups that you do, that's something that you could track that you're in control of, something that is going to lead to your outcome, but you're 100% in control of that. I think we need to look at the big picture, not just moments.
I think that, I don't know. I do know, but I don't know if that's a podcast thought. That's an off the pod thought.
Also, I think that we need to detach emotion from data. And near this, I put Erica Lynn, which is myself. Okay.
Oh, I don't have your disc assessment. It's linked to mine. So there was on the disc assessment, there's a scale where it says emotions or do you know what I'm talking about? Emotional, like thought processes are emotional or
I think you're way more well versed in the disc assessment than me.
hold on. Okay. So on the disc assessment, there is a scale that says focused on feelings, focused on logic. And I am way over to the focused on feelings. Does that sound like me?
No.
That doesn't sound like me either.
Mm-mm. No.
But I don't know if that's just how that's my initial reaction. And then I don't know. I got to deep dive into that. But
I want to check on mine because that's very interesting.
yeah, watch your say focus on logic. And I'll be like, I don't, did we flip
That's
flop here?
wrong.
Did we flip flop here? Because I'm confused.
I'm going to look for it.
I think that Ryan is going to try to get anybody that did it during leadership onto our group, like our circle,
Cool.
so we can see how we work, all of us. But data versus emotional. I'm a data person. The facts. You've been taught that your whole life though. I feel like
Yeah,
focus
but
on the
I still
facts, not
have.
the emotions.
Yeah, but that's barking up the wrong tree. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you what.
Yeah.
Well, I think that numbers do matter because they are a part of real estate. It's a part of the business and we can't avoid them.
Yeah.
But I also think that if it's the only thing guiding you and the way that you feel about yourself, you're always going to feel behind and not good enough.
Amen. Amen. Numbers are always going to be relevant. We work in a numbers business. We work in a sales type role. I think that numbers are always going to be, they're always going to be a factor. You can't ignore it. You can't avoid them. You can't whatever. Like if you want to be super successful, I think that you're going to pay attention to the numbers. And I think that's important, but only if you're comparing against yourself and how you did last year, or if you're showing up as your best self, or if you're like me and you just want to one up people. Either one.
Or just be in alignment because that's when you're going to feel the best.
Yes, absolutely. So I hope this helped somebody this week.
I hope so.
Also,
I think it will.
we're posted at a new time or a new day.
Oh,
So
yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
we
We're
sure
trying
didn't.
Tuesdays, guys.
Tuesdays. So I hope nobody missed us today, yesterday.
We'll be here on Tuesdays
But
now at 6.
Tuesdays at 6 a.m. So, all right. Are you following us on social media? I'm just curious because if you're not, why?
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yep. Also, if you like the Hustle Humbly podcast and you are on their website looking at their resources, things that you can use to boost your business, make sure you use code After Hours for $100 off your courses or packages or all the things that they have that's more than $100.
And don't forget
Oh,
to go
yeah.
shopping on our Amazon storefront, where
Whoop,
we
whoop.
have all of our favorite things and things that we use for Popeyes, business, the podcast, all of the things.
All the things. I did not put my March Popeyes on there, so I need
I have to get on
to
there too.
update that. Yep, we got to update
They'll
some
be
things.
updated soon.
All right, see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.